Are you struggling with adding additional stitches when you don't want to as you work more rounds of crochet? If you are, I'm going to show you why this is probably happening and how to fix it. So where the problem comes in with gaining stitches happens right here at the decision you make right at the beginning. So I've chained one because I'm just going to do some single crochets for this tutorial. You have two choices once you've chained to get to the height that you need. You could work into this space or this space. Whatever you decide is going to determine how you end your round. So let me show you this. Either one works, but we could work into this very first space. So right next to the chain, I'm going to go into this very first space and work a single crochet. And then I would just work however many stitches around. I'm just going to place one stitch in each stitch around. I have 10 single crochets here, so I want to make sure that I keep my stitch count the same. So I'm just placing one stitch in each stitch around for the purpose of this tutorial. Now, if you work in that very first space, this is where you're probably picking up an extra stitch. So let's count our stitches right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And that's the stitch count I had in the previous round. If I do not want to add any stitches, I have to skip over this stitch right here. I'm not going to work into it. I'm simply going to come over here and slip stitch to that first stitch. So that's where people pick up an extra stitch, is they work into that very first stitch, come around and they go, oh, well, I have to work a stitch here. That's where you're picking up one. So we're going to skip over that and we're going to come over here and slip stitch to that first stitch. And that would keep your stitch count the same. So again, here I am, I've chained one. So instead of working into this very first stitch, I'm going to skip over it and I'm going to work here. You can totally do this option as well. So we're going to skip over this first stitch right next to the chain and we're going to work right here into this stitch. And we're going to place our first single crochet there. And then again, I'm just going to work one single crochet in each stitch around so we can see that our stitch count stays the same. So here we are at the end of the round, and yes, I know it's curling. I should be increasing if I don't want it to curl, but I wanted to just show you this with this tutorial. I'm going to count my stitches here now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So if I want to keep my stitch count the same at 10, this time I actually do work into this last stitch. And again, it's harder to see because it's laying a little flatter, but right here is where I'm going to work that last stitch. So I would insert my crochet hook and I would work my single crochet just like I normally would. And then I would come over here and slip stitch to the top of this first single crochet to close the round. And then that's going to keep my stitch count the same. So again, the difference comes in after you chain, whether you work in this space or this space. And then that determines whether you work into this last stitch or not. If you need more crochet tutorials, you can check out my blog, hopecornerfarm.com, or my YouTube channel, Hope Corner Farm Crochet. And I hope you have a wonderful day.